Welcome to the 24-hour marketing mastermind. And we are here again for another great mastermind to give you all the juicy details. And tonight we've got Dave here and we've got Katie here and myself, Jamie Shaw. So how was your week, Dave?
Oh, my week's great. We had a super time on Saturday. I know we had like, what was it, like a 5-hour workshop that we just had so much value pumped into that. Well, it was incredible. But yeah, I had a great week getting ready for to hear a great bit of information. But I'll pass it back to you in the studio there, Jamie.
Cool. Yeah, it was like 5.5 hours, something like that. You know, I was tired the time I went to bed, and I think I slept till 9 o'clock the next morning. And Miss Katie, how was your week?
Well, mine was super fantastic. We had a lot of snow that came down today that really fast. Not a lot, I should say, but it's definitely looked like Minnesota now.
Cool. We got a big ice storm coming in this weekend, I think, so that's going to be fun because we all know that ice is terrible. So
I realized that I'm logged into Dave's account, so there's two Daves.
I was just looking at that. I'm like, how's there two Daves on here?
I can log out and come right back in with my own account. I'll be right back.
Alrighty, we'll wait on you till you come back. So our workshop was, very intense, and it was, like I said, 5.5 hours long. It was full of information. There was like 6 of us that taught, and it was truly phenomenal. We took a 2-week break, so everybody had fresh minds and was ready to teach and deliver, and that's what we want in our hangouts, people to deliver and teach and everything they're learning and stuff. Myself, I've dug into the attraction marketing. I bought a course on attraction marketing, and I'm going to be studying that and delivering content on that over the next several weeks. And then I think this Saturday I may teach on the content or the customer relationship manager. I know some people are having some struggles with the CRM inside our back office, and so I'm going to teach on that some and how to set up tracking and stuff for it. So I lost my train of thought.
That's all right. I wanted to say something, just so everyone's watching here. So next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are having none other than Miss Diane Hockman, who is going to be coming on here as a guest. It'll be on Tuesday, so we will have a hangout. We might actually not have it on Monday. I'm just curious. We'll have to think about this. But as far as we are going, we'll have it on Monday. But then we're also going to have another hangout on Tuesday with Diane Hockman, who's going to be talking about none other than attraction marketing from the perspective from starting out as a beginner in this industry. And because I just had a conversation with her, and she's going to be coming on here, and it's going to be so exciting. So you guys want to be there. You also want to invite as many people as you can to be there, because I promise you this, Diane provides so much value, and you can't stop listening to her once she gets going. It's just amazing. So I'm super excited for that. And I just also want to say that we are going to be carrying on our series of stories here, and I know that Katie has got something that I wanted to share with us. All right, and that is her story of how she started out online from her perspective. But I want you to hear this out, because everybody needs to know that becoming successful online is completely possible. It doesn't matter where you're from. All right, I'm from South Africa. Kati is from America, and the only difference between us is the geographical locations. And even, so you don't need to worry about where you are, other than probably North Korea. If you're watching this from North Korea, that's not going to happen. All right, North Korea is probably the only country I can think of that can't do this. But I want you guys to understand that building a business online is completely possible. And so I'm going to hand this over to Miss Katie Stage. Katie, take it away. The floor is yours. We were actually kind of worried that you weren't going to be on here because we know the traffic was tight and you were rushing to get here. So fill us in on that before you get started.
Yep, it was really, really tight traffic. So, but that's okay. That happens. I'm not in traffic that often, so it's like I usually forget that traffic even happens. But I kind of wanted to start off this this story of mine with a question. And if anybody in the comments could please, I actually have the comments in down below. By the way, I have a twirly chair, so I may be doing that a lot. If that distracts you, oh well, it's just fun for me. All right, so I see Pastor Jackie, hello. Oh, Jamie Shaw's in the comments. Hello, Jamie Shaw. And Andrea, how are you? Shumela, how are you? Maria, how are you? Awesome. And I believe Joe is here too. Not really sure how far back that goes. But anyway, so I just wanted to say that in the comments below, I know there's a delay, but go ahead and answer the question. What motivates you more? Is it money or is it the experience? Okay, so if you got to put that put it down below. Hi, Wonderwit. Seen you coming in. So I just want to know where everybody's at. What motivates you? Is it money or is it experience? I'm actually going to take one of these out of my ear because I tend to talk louder if I have them in both my ears. So I'll have that out so I don't have to scream. And I did turn my microphone down, so I'm sure I'm coming out pretty clear. Okay, so Maria says it's the experience. That's awesome. And Jamie says experience. That's awesome. So I'm just saying, I know you want to help people succeed. That's great. I love that. But I just want to know, does the reason why you're here, what motivates you more? Is it just money or is it the experience? Whether, you know, that's helping people is the experience, which is awesome. So I just wanted to see what everybody was saying because when I got in the industry, money's never been a motivational thing for me ever because I always felt that money's always been this thing that buys experiences. So I think everybody knows what that means, right? It's like one of my aha moments in life was that it's not that, you know, how much money do you want to make? It's what experience do you want to have next? And in the title of this, I think you, Dave, you put as who is Katie Stage? And basically what everybody knows about my story is that I've had 31 jobs in 17 years. And I'm looking at this, this Facebook. I got Facebook open too. And he says that I couldn't hold down a job at all. Well, in fact, I could hold down the job if I wanted to, because I was actually the ideal employee. And I remember my very first job was McDonald's, and I worked there for a year, and I cleaned the toilets, I made the burgers, don't worry, I washed my hands. I dropped like maybe 300 basket of fries the entire year that I was there, you know, working with like dropping in 375-degree oil. I would clean the playland back in the day when it had a ball pit. That was just, any money in the world, I wouldn't want to buy that experience ever again. So anyways, so I remember after a year, they're like, oh, by the way, you know, after a year you get a raise. And I'm like, whoa, really? After a whole year? You mean I get to actually make some more money, right? I mean, there is a little bit of motivated to make more money, of course. Everybody has a way of doing that. But to me, it was like getting more money so I can buy more experiences, right? So when I opened up my check, it was 10 cents, a 10-cent raise after a whole year of being the ideal employee. I was never late, never called in sick. I always stayed late. I always had that. I always gave it my 110% no matter what I did. So it's not that I couldn't hold down a job per se where I always got fired. So basically what that is that I didn't want to be there. I got the experience and I wanted to do something else. I didn't care how much I got paid. I just wanted to go experience something else. And that's why I had 31 jobs in 17 years, because I would get bored and then want to go experience something else. And there's been some interesting jobs that I've done. You know, I've been a meat cutter, I've been a process server, I've delivered bread, I've delivered groceries, delivered, actually delivery jobs are probably the best, I think, for me, because it's like you're on the road and I love to drive. So I always like doing that. I was a school bus driver. I worked at, you know, all sorts of different jobs. The food industry didn't last very long. But anyways, so I see in the comments that everybody likes the experience, you know, and it's so funny how we attract people to us that are just like us. And you guys are just like me. You know, you want to have the experience. So money isn't the motivator for you. It's you want to have the experience. Like Terry Miller, she wants to go to Disneyland and take Cody. So that's awesome. She wants to have that experience, but she has to have money, obviously, to do that. So when I got in this industry, I don't know what got me into the industry. It was a new experience for me, I think. So when I got introduced into this industry, it's like, wow, this is something that I have no clue what to do. I don't even know what a blog was, because I started off being an affiliate for a blog company or a blogging platform with other training and marketing training and stuff like that. So, you know, so when I got into it, it's a completely clean slate and everything was just brand new and it was exciting. So I got into it and I learned and I learned and I learned, and I started realizing that I actually got to start making money. Yeah, eventually, you know, at some point. So I just kept going. I kept learning. And eventually what happened was that I finally made the decision to make it happen, you know, and take all the information that I've learned over the years and just, you know, Dave, actually, you had something to do with it because you taught me how to build my business on YouTube. So I appreciate that. So thank you. But here I got another question for you guys. If you want to type in the comments, do you think you have to hit rock bottom in order to have success? I want you guys to put in the comments, do you think you have to hit rock bottom? If you think you're at rock bottom, I apologize. You know, that sucks. I apologize for you. I don't want you to be there. But, you know, you hear a lot of these stories that sometimes it takes about 2 to 10 years to build a successful business. To have, not to build, to have. I always bring this guy up, Jason, or no, not Jason, but Jordan Alder. You guys can go to jordanalder.com. It took him 11 years before he had his success in his business, and he went on to become a keynote speaker at the Eric Worre event, you know, GoPro event in 2016. So 11 years. Can you guys imagine that? 11 years. But here's the thing. Yeah, exactly, Maria. You don't have to hit rock bottom. You have to have a great plan. So, or a great pain. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Great pain. So I took it as you had to hit rock bottom. How stupid, right? You don't have to hit rock bottom. You have to, it's just as simple as making a decision to make this thing work, right? Just like how Dave quit smoking. He didn't take 15 years to quit smoking. He made that one decision and all of a sudden he quit smoking. Awesome. Jamie, I'm pretty sure you had the same experience, right? So I had that moment where it was my emotional rock bottom, not like a financial rock bottom or whatever, right? I didn't have to be homeless. I didn't have to live in a car. I didn't have to, like, whatever, right? So I was emotionally hit rock bottom, and just like how Dave calls it the crying time. So I had that time, but that still didn't work. For some reason, I had to experience this certain experience or whatever, this rock bottom. And I was trying to search for the rock bottom first before I wanted to have the success. Seriously, how stupid is that? I'm going to bring Ray Higdon's wife, Jessica, in as an example. If you ever heard her story, it's going to take her 2 seconds to say. She says, I've had an amazing upbringing. I never had some rags to riches story. I just got into this industry and I made it happen. You know what I mean? It's like people have that story and they want to, like, sometimes they listen to these stories when they're first getting new and they're suggested that they should have these rock bottoms or they should have these compelling story, like, or, you know, should I, there's a decision there. Do I pay my bill or do I pay for this product? You know, you don't have to be in that position to do that in order to create a compelling story. You can just decide that you can step into the role of a leader and just do it. This is like what Dave is teaching us. You can be a teacher and teach people stuff. You know, you're filling your brains up with a whole bunch of stuff that you know enough. Okay, just go turn around and start putting in a video and put your stories out there, right? So it just makes a decision, and that was the hugest breakthrough, was that decision, and that's where it started all. And this was before I met Dave. We all hear these stories over and over and over again. We all hear these strategies, different ways, like little tweaks here and there in these strategies, but it's good to always hear them because you can hear it in a different way with a different person. And you should never have that one person be that end all person for that training. You should always train yourself, right? But here's the thing. You keep hearing these stories, right? How people went from rock bottom and went to success, but there's some key notes in these stories that tells you how they got to that point, right? And all of the stories have something in common, is that they made the decision, right? They put themselves in rock bottom. That's their fault. That's my fault. They put themselves in that position, right? We got to take responsibility. And then they made that decision, but they had to see it and be at rock bottom to see it. But I got to tell you, you don't have to be at rock bottom to see it. You can just say, I'm going to make that decision right now and just freaking do it. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the comments. I see Barb. Barbara, I think it's just Barb. I don't know if it's Tim. Maybe it's Barb and Tim. So hi, Barb and Tim, or Barb. So, right. I mean, the struggles, you know, they do motivate you. And most of the time, negative things will motivate you more than positive things, right? Like, if I don't do this, then I'm going to have to work at a 9-to-5 forever or whatever. So it's like there's a cause and effect stuff, and it's usually the negative that keeps us motivated. I'm just taking a look at my notes. What I want you guys to do, if you don't have paper, you know, try to find a piece of paper or open up your notes or something from your book or up on your computer, because what I want you guys to do now is write down. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, you know, what is my product or service? What am I selling? Right? What am I offering? It's not so much what you're selling, but what are you offering other people? And what I want you to do is try to come up with your best elevator pitch. Okay? I'm pretty sure Dave's like, I don't know what she's doing right now. I thought we were supposed to get into her story, but it is. It is. So I want everybody to write down your best elevator pitch. Think about what you're selling, because I didn't know what I was selling for years. I had no clue, right? I had this information in front of me, but I didn't know what to do with it. And like what we've been saying is that it's kind of like that like you get too overwhelmed with information. Well, there's a lot of information out there. You just got to pick and choose what you want to start with first, and then work with it and see if it works with you. You know, something that, say that we have some Twitter people in our group, you know, go do some Twitter training. You get some Instagram people like Wonderwit, do some Instagram training. Pops and Chris Pyers, they do Twitter. I do Facebook. So I chose to do Facebook, and I learned Facebook, and I didn't stop until I figured it out. Now I know Facebook and other programs or platforms are going to always change, and you just want to keep up with that. That's fine, but you want to figure it out. You want to feel comfortable on that platform. Don't try to do everything at once, right? And here's the kicker. Once you figure that out, you can go on any platform. This is a secret now. You can go on any social media platform, and you can do the same thing there. You just have to speak a different language, right? It's the same concept. You're marketing, but you're just speaking a different language. So, get your elevator pitch on there. And if you don't know what an elevator pitch, it's basically you're stepping in an elevator with somebody, right? And you're going to one floor, and you have that much time to pitch them your deal or your product or your service or whatever you're doing, right? Start that conversation. the reason why I was having some issues with coming up with my elevator pitch for a long time is because I didn't know who I was selling to. So this is where thinking about your avatar comes into play. And an avatar, it took me a long time to figure out what the hell an avatar meant. And I kept thinking of the movie with the blue people. Like, what? They're all blue. I don't get it. So, so I figured it out. I picked a male and a female. You give them their names. And I had two different avatars. The woman, I named her Emily. This was before my niece Emily was born. So Emily, she's at work. She's sitting at her desk or her computer or whatever. And she's like, I am sick of this. I'm on the internet instead of working, trying to find a different way. Right. And the guy, I don't remember what his name is. Maybe Dale or something. I really can't remember, but he's already in this industry of working online, an entrepreneur, MLM or internet marketer or whatever. And he's struggling. He can't get leads. He can't get sales. He doesn't know what to do. He's overloaded with all this information, and he's left with asking the question, what do I do next? So that was my two avatar. Now I've switched over to Dale, let's just say his name is, more so than Emily. I've kind of like switched with just the one. So my clients that I take on now are people who are in that, in the industry of trying to make some income at home. So with that person in mind, you want to set them in front of you and try to give them your elevator pitch. Okay. And I know selling is a little bit scary, but that's normal, right? And if you don't know the first thing about selling, you get a book about it. Okay. It's about as simple as that. I remember I was like asking so many questions. I didn't know what to do. I reached out to a high income earner, and he replied back and he says, go to the thrift store and buy some books. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's it? You're not going to tell me what the secret is? And I'm glad he said that, because I started picking up books. And the first book that I picked up was leadership books, right? Leadership books on leadership. And then eventually I learned how to present myself and step into the role of a leader. And then I went on how to sell, you know what I mean? And how to promote, or how to, write copy, or how to, you take these things on one thing at a time. Kind of like when I worked at McDonald's, I couldn't go into McDonald's and get hired as a brand new person who's never worked before and just expected to know how to do everything. I had to get trained in how to do a register. I had to train on how to talk to customers, because you have to know how to do that. I had to get trained on how to drop fries in 375-degree oil. I had to get trained on how to put the perfect burger together, make sure that one pickle's in the middle or something instead of like off to the side. Well, that's just me. That's just my OCD-ness, I guess. But so you're not expected to step into that and know everything. So you have to take it one at a time. So for me, I felt like being a leader was the number one priority, because if I needed to present myself, I had to be that person. So I stepped into that role. I learned how to do it. Do John Maxwell books. You can do. I just suggest that. I did a whole bunch of John Maxwell books, because he does everything about leadership, and do that. So go on Kindle, go on your thrift store, whatever. So the next thing that I did was, let me think. Let me just look at my notes here. Is everybody okay so far? How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yes, Jamie, that was the second book I've ever read. The very first one is Think and Grow Rich. I had no idea what the hell the book was telling me. This was 10 years ago. And 2 years ago, I finally dusted it off, read it again. I still wasn't getting it until maybe 6 months ago. I picked it up a third time, and I'm like, all of a sudden, it was jumping out at me. Every single page, just like the book says, every single page, it was it was jumping right out at me. Okay, so make sure you dissect Think and Grow Rich, and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I haven't read that in like 10 years, so it'll probably be a good idea to pick that up again. I'm just gonna look in the comments. Okay, so yeah. So make sure that you have the elevator pitch ready. And I think the best the best way to present your best elevator pitch is to talk to people. Okay, start those conversations. Get 5 people a day and start asking questions. You know, just listen. Also, there's another thing that I just never did was listen. I still don't very well. You know, it's whatever. I could make that decision right now to be a good listener, right? You guys are hearing me, right? So, all right, let me just see right here. So has everybody still got their notes? Because I want you guys to write something down here pretty quick. All right. So either have your notes out, a piece of paper or something like that, because I want you to write down the success recipe. Okay, there's 4 steps. So step number 1 is you need to find a need. Okay, you're thinking about your avatar right now. What do they need? One of my breakthrough moments of wondering how to set your place in front of that person who's in need is to find out what questions are they asking. And then I turned around on me, well, what questions am I asking? How do I get a sale? How do I get a lead? How do I do this? How do I do that? I'm asking those questions myself. I find the answer. I turn around, make a video about it, put it out there and see what happens. You guys get it? Okay, you find that need. What are the questions are they asking? And where do you put it? Put it where you're put yourself most as present as possible. Like for me, I'm always on Facebook. So I'm going to put that information out on Facebook. And then it's Instagram and, you know, so forth. Also Snapchat and whatever. The second step for this recipe for success is find the answer to that need. So I just said that. You find the answer. You've got to go learn. If you have a question on how to lead a team, go find out how to be a leader in leadership. And you can do management books. There's the 1 Minute Manager book, something like that. You can do that. Find books on leadership. The third one is take that answer to that need in quantity and quality to the greatest number of people. Okay, so that means put it out there. Put it on YouTube. Tell people to subscribe to your channel, because every time that you make a new video, they're going to have that notification that's going to come up on their phone that you made a new video. Do a Facebook Live, right? And then be consistent at it, like once a week, twice a week, whatever. You don't have to do every single day unless you want to, and people will get used to whatever you're doing. Just don't be sporadic like me, randomness. You know, be consistent so they can get used to you. So you can be, what's the word? Squirrel. No, kidding. The fourth one is you repeat as needed. You have to decide right now, where is this going to take you? And you have to do whatever it takes every day until you get there. Okay? And if you look around you and you're not there yet, just keep working. Okay? Because once you do that, you're going to stop looking around and see if you're there yet. And you're just going to keep working. You're going to keep working. And all of a sudden, you're going to take a break. And you're like, holy crap, I'm here. When did I get here? When did that happen? Right? It's just going to happen. It's the coolest feeling. I just absolutely love it. Once you get to that place that you want to go, they're still not stopping. You're still not going to stop, because you're going to have new goals. You're going to have new skills that you're going to learn. So you're just not going to stop. You can use whatever you're using as far as whatever products or services that you're getting to invest in order to gain those skills. You're going to keep using those and keep investing and keep gaining and keep sucking in all this information. But then you're going to keep growing, right? And then you're going to spew all that out to other people to help other people grow, right? So that's where the experience comes from. Is it going to a Tony Robbins? Well, that's the experience. You're going to have to up your game in order to maybe do a fire walk, right? How much is it? Like a $500 ticket to go do a fire walk? Well, up your game so you can get that $500 and go, plus plane ticket, plus hotel. There's something that Diane Hochman is talking about, and it'd be kind of cool if she talked about this, Dave, on that Tuesday or Monday, or on the Tuesday, is that I saw a video where she talked about creating a space. So you basically have to create this space in order for whatever it is that you want to show up. And it's a really powerful video. I don't know if anybody saw that, where if you are in an MLM and you want to have this big team, you got to create this space for that big team, i.e., create a Facebook page. Even if you're the only one, create it. Start building it up. Create training, informational training that you can teach somebody so they can, you know, because you're going to be one step ahead of them when they're coming in, typically. You can give them training. Well, how do I set this up? How do I set up my training? Well, I got a video for that. So Dave's pretty good at being the person to do that. He taught me how to do that. I have that with the marketing system that I'm using now, where I have a step-by-step videos, like 6 videos or something, that shows them exactly how to go, you know, where to go. And they get that in email as soon as they sign up. Are you wanting to accumulate a certain amount of money? Then you have to create a space for that. That means open up another account, a business account or a savings account or some other account where you can put money in there when it's coming in, but you have to create that space. Because Diane Hockman was talking about, there's a lot of people who have these businesses, but they don't have the business mindset where they're going to open up these accounts and create this space. Okay. If you want to learn how to do something new, well, create a time slot in your busy day to learn that. You have to create that space. Otherwise you're not going to get around to it. Right. So, I'm just going to look at the comments here. How's everybody doing on their elevator pitch? You're probably maybe just like me, maybe about a year ago, where the page is still blank. And that's okay. If you want to be honest, you can tell me that you still have a blank page. Maybe you drew a stick figure. I don't know if I talk too fast. Does anybody have any questions at all? If you guys want to chime in, you can chime in at any time. So basically what we created, Dave and I, he is my business partner, which is awesome. What we've been creating is, okay, Pastor Jackie, she has a blank page, which is totally fine because you're at that point where you are going to figure it out. Because you told us in our group chat, Jackie, that you're in this place where you want to figure out where you want to take your business, and that's okay. I think one of the, I can't write and listen to you. Okay, Maria, that's okay. So I think maybe okay, so we have this workshop. We have a workshop every Saturday night. And I think what we should do, if that's okay with Dave, is that I want people to present their elevator pitch. I'm just throwing this out there. I haven't even talked to Dave about this. If they want to take a second and give the best elevator pitch, and that's just, 30 seconds or, something. If you guys want to get put in like a hot seat or something, you know what I mean? Just kind of, is that okay, Dave? What do you think?
That's a great idea.
Okay.
If we have time for that, my uncle might be joining us on Saturday, but absolutely, I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Pastor Jackie, she says she never thought about an elevator pitch, which is okay. So what we created in this group that we have is that it's a place where we don't hold hands, but we basically show people what they can do. Yeah.
We don't sing Kumbaya. No, we don't hold hands and sing Kumbaya and take windy walks.
I may want to frolic in the tulips or something, but that's always fun. But what I'm basically saying, what I kind of went through wasn't really, it was kind of my story, but I also threw in my breakthroughs. So I hope what I shared is some eye-opening stuff. Okay, I hope so. Hi. My niece is home now. Hi. That's cute. So I think everybody, we could take some time right now, since I kind of went fast. I apologize, but to do like an elevator pitch. Hold on a second, I got family coming in. Dave, take over.
I think it's a great idea to come up with one. You know, one of the things that I say to people, if somebody says to me, Dave, what is it you do for a living? Because I live in South Africa, now mine's going to be unique to everybody else because I have a disadvantage, but because of that, I've created something to speak about. So if somebody says to me, so Dave, what do you actually do? And I say, well, I teach Americans how to make some money online. And the first thing they say to me is, what do you mean you teach Americans? Can you teach me? It's kind of like, of course I can. And it's a great way to get people interested in what you have to say. But if that's only because I phrase it that way, or you can say I teach Americans how to build an existing business online or start one from scratch. But the whole idea is that's what I say to people to grab their attention. It's like if you're in the elevator, you're going up, somebody turns to you and says, so what is it you do for a living? You just tell them quickly, then that's amazing, you know. What is it you do for a living? Well, let's see. I teach people how to fire their own boss and to work from home permanently 24 hours a day, and they don't need to be answerable to anyone. Okay, but the whole idea is that somebody goes, really? And then they get back to you. So I don't know if you want to carry on there.
No, that's really great. You reminded me of another thing I wanted to say is that everybody who is listening to me right now, who has just now, I was thinking about their elevator pitch. I want you to write it every single day without looking a brand new page. Write it down, like whatever you have now, that's fine. And then tomorrow, or at least maybe twice a day, you can go crazy. You can do it 3 times a day, but always write it down and then tweak it. And then whatever sounds good. Like a lot of times when I wrote down my elevator pitch, I'm like, that sounds like, if I would have had someone say that to me, I'm like, no, that's like the wrong approach, right? It's not speaking to me. So I don't know, sometimes I put myself in as my own client or prospect or whatever you want to call it. And I turn myself and look at myself, right? Like you're looking in the mirror. And I basically, would I want to hear that from somebody? Is that going to solve my problem? So good. Tintin 87. I have mine, and I think I where I want it. That's awesome. That's good. So now if you have your elevator pitch the way that you want it and you're confident, where you can go over to your mom and say, this is what I'm doing, or your sister, or that person who's doubting you in that family or whatever, if you could go over to anybody, test it out. Go out into the marketplace and go test it out. Now, this doesn't mean spamming. Okay, this means starting a conversation with people and have an opportunity open where you can give them the elevator pitch. This means building rapport. Now, there's this thing out there that's called the Facebook hustle. That is something I don't like to do. That's just basically, I like to build rapport. I like to, I'm naturally curious about what people are doing on Facebook when they have a business. I'm curious. I'm like, what are you doing? And one of the first questions I love to ask is, are you building an email list? And they're like, no, I'm building a social media list, friends list. I'm like, well, so I get into the conversation about emails. Now, I'm not here to like bring them in my deal or have them sign up under me as under an MLM or something. I find out if they're willing to be open to having an email list. If so, I'm an affiliate for GetResponse. So I tell them, here you go. And I do tell them I'm an affiliate for GetResponse, and I'll get a commission, not much, but that's just the way I work. If I can make money off of it, I'm going to sell it, right? So, oh, there you go. Wonder what she says. She asks realtors if they have a list. I mean, that's a great example. If you're a realtor, you better have a list. I think anybody should. So when they're kind of open up to the idea about having a list, I start asking them, well, what could you give them? Do you have anything that you can give them for free in order to build your list? And this, let's say it's a health and wellness company. You have an MLM for a health and wellness company. And say you've been using this product for however long and you got some results, but you had to take these certain steps to get those results. You followed whatever, right? You followed some sort of plan. Maybe during that time that you were using this product, you kind of fell short. Maybe you found a way around something or something, but you can turn that into like a checklist or a PDF file of some sort, a checklist or like maybe like a mini walkthrough or something, and give it to people who are interested in losing weight or whatever it is, or getting better sleep or whatever it is, right? Give that up to them for free in order to get their email, and then you can build a relationship with that list and then eventually get a sale. Okay? This isn't an overnight thing. This is talking to people, using conversations, building rapport on any social media, email list, or anything, anywhere. You're basically making friends. Okay, for all your introverts out there, you're making friends, you're talking to people, and you're going to use what's called intuition to find out if they're actually in need of your product or service. Okay, but you have to have those conversations in order to do that. So you want to talk to at least 5 people a day. And if it feels like, if you have that feeling that they just want to pitch you, then you just use your best judgment, use your best intuition and say, you know what, this person's obviously not interested. They want to pitch me. So I'm going to congratulate them, maybe ask some more questions, maybe take a mental note that maybe you want, maybe 3 months down the road, 3 weeks down the road, whatever, see if they still feel the same way, right? Maybe they're still struggling. Maybe they just got in this new deal and they're super excited. There's no way in hell, did I say hell on camera, that you are going to turn them around. Because they're at a level 10, they're excited. They're excited about this new deal, so there's no way that you're gonna turn them in. And you know what I mean? Jamie, you're not scared to talk to people. So I hope everybody's picking up what I'm putting down here. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Throw some questions at me. I don't mind.
Hey, I'm gonna give you mine because I wrote mine down and you critique it for me.
Okay.
So if I'm in an elevator and they ask me what I do, I tell them I teach people how to build a business online. Most people struggle with generating leads. I have a simple system that teaches them how to build or get leads online. The second thing they struggle with is how to build a website, a capture page, and a funnel. And I also teach that.
That is amazing. So basically, what you're offering, I'm actually going to mute you for a second because there's feedback. What you're offering basically is, because we're in the same group, Jamie, what you offer that's different from anybody else is basically a place where they can go to get that mentorship, right? They have your time. You can give them their time. You don't have to like say, here's a system, go ahead, you're on your own. You don't bring them in saying, I could teach you that, and then all of a sudden give someone else's videos to teach them. You can actually do a one-on-one. This is something that you actually can do. Because that's what I've noticed a lot in the industry is people like, well, I have this training. You have this training, but you know, which is free. It's a free training, that's fine. But you have this thing like you want to bring people in. You know, customers or leads, or, you know, I always say leads are people too, so I should say customers. So basically you're building this. Dave, do you want to come in and help me out on that?
Yeah, you know, the one thing I do want to say, and I mentioned this, if you're talking about leads, remember that when people don't know you from Adam, they won't know what you're talking about. So you might want to change it to leads instead of. You might want to change it to customers, or build to teach people how to build a huge customer base, because everybody knows what that is. If you're talking about leads, somebody might be thinking, well, what do you mean leads? Unless you're in the industry, you probably don't know what you're talking about. But that's a really good intro into what you do for a living. Absolutely. Teaching people how to start a business and to build a huge customer base is definitely what people want to hear, because a lot of people struggle with getting customers, obviously. So if you can teach people how to get customers, it's obviously going to be something that's appealing to other people. That's just what I would say on that.
Awesome. Thank you. Wonderwit says her elevator pitch is I mentor entrepreneurs and teach small business owners how to market themselves online. And then she follows with, what do you do? I think that's really cool because she basically switches it over and has them start talking. And that's what you want to do, is you want them to get talking. I had someone who I was following that suggests that you never ask somebody what they do because they're going to start talking about themselves, but you want that. I tried it out, and it's like I ended up being the one that talked all the time, and I didn't learn anything from them. I felt like they wanted to know everything about me, which reality, nobody gives a shit about you. Can I say shit on camera? So, and you know, wonder what, you're just like me. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, is that you always, when you're having a conversation with people, is you always want to end with a question so you can always keep the conversation going. And here's the thing that you want to do. Yes, Alan, I use the word clients as well. I'm reading the comments as well here. Another thing that you want to do is you basically want to, I lost my train of thought. Yep, that's what you want to do. Lost your train of thought. Always, oh yeah, your intuition comes into play and they're not interested, which is fine. You basically ask them, crap, there goes my thought again. It came and then it went. Watch the replay and you'll watch it go away. Let me think, hold on. Yeah, I forgot.
When you're speaking to people, I think the general idea is to get a person to be interested and to carry on with a conversation with you. You know, a lot of people don't have business cards. It's something you might want to get as a business card, perhaps. But you could get people interested in the sense of saying, well, what do you do for a living? You can say, I just really work on ways that I can live my own life and not having to worry about a boss. And I work on ways to actually carry on with that lifestyle. Oh, what is that? If you want to know, you can go to this website or go to this, here's a card. You know, how was your day? And then because you've mentioned it in parsing, because you actually, it's called the throwaway sale. There's actually a big strategy to a throwaway sale. If you just mention quickly what you do and carry on with the conversation, they're going to want to go back to what you said. You know, because who doesn't want to have a life when you can do what you want to and stay away from working for somebody else? I mean, that's exactly what a lot of people do. For instance, I was listening to somebody speak, and they mentioned the title of an audio they were listening to that completely changed their life. And they mentioned the title of the audio, but carried on talking. And I spent the rest of the hour trying to find that audio, even though they weren't talking about that actual product. It's amazing how doing the throwaway sale can actually help you. And that's what a lot of people do in their conversations when they mention something, you know. Anyway, so you could say, so I was calling for help on my iPhone 6 Plus. And we were, what, you got the iPhone 6 Plus? Well, what's that like? Anyway, we were you know, and they just want to learn. They want to know more about what you have to offer. So that's definitely a strategy you can use. Have you got your train of thought back?
No, I think I'm done. I'm spent. So, yeah, if anybody has any questions, I know we got about 10 minutes, you know, so, do you notice how I kind of slipped that in there about our Saturday night workshop, possibly? Maybe somebody's thinking about that right now who's either watching this replay or they're watching it live and they're like, what is this Saturday night workshop we got going on here?
Wow, so, man, I'll tell you, it's amazing. It's like a 5-hour deal. We had a 5-hour workshop, man. For me, I ended at 8 o'clock in the morning, started at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was crazy. I mean, just to be able to.
I was actually thinking about if we all lived in the same hood, you know, or in the same, I don't know, even if we're all like can get together once every 6 months and have like an actual workshop, it would probably go for like 3 days.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Yep. I mean, that would be awesome.
So, got that.
Yeah.
Jamie, you want to say something? You've been so quiet, man.
oh man, I just been taking all this in because that's one of the areas I've been struggling with is getting my elevator pitch going, you know. So, I mean, and Wonder Would helped me with this a little bit yesterday, and you know, I wasn't really doing anything wrong. I just was not leading them to their pain points, and you know that helps me. You know, that kind of helped me define my elevator pitch a little bit. You know, so I refined it a little more from what I said a while ago. So, and that's what our workshop does. It helps, you know, everybody that has an area that they're struggling with work on that area and, you know, refine that struggle and get that struggle out of your way so you can go on and start marketing as a better marketer.
You know, speaking of marketing and getting people to listen to what you have to say, one of the best ways of getting a person to listen to you is to actually get them to talk about themselves. If you can get a person to talk about themselves for a lengthy period of time, you'll be surprised how many times they'll want to talk to you again. It really is a great way of, and this is something my uncle does quite naturally, my Uncle Peter. He is surrounded by people that just want to hear what he has to say, because when he is in conversation with you, he's always saying stuff like, tell me what it is you do for a living. And you might say, oh, well, you know, I do engineering. So what does that actually mean? What does your day look like? What do you do from the beginning? And you know, are you in charge of the mistakes that happen? You suddenly feel so important. And you need to realize that a good salesman, somebody who is really good at their job, is a person that is fascinated with what the other person has got to say. I promise you it happens. You know, whenever I'm in the car with somebody, what I will purposely do is get them to talk about their day. I will get them to talk about, you know what ends up happening? You end up having these long, drawn-out conversations that they really just want your opinion on. And it's because you have made them realize that you want to listen to them. And I know we're getting sidetracked here and we're going off a different tangent, but this is definitely something. In fact, I'll give you an exercise. I'll give you a little exercise. I talk about this in my book. You go through one entire day without talking about yourself. See if you can do it. It's almost impossible because, you know, you'll say to somebody, oh, how's it going? How are things going with you? And they'll say something like, oh, you know, I did this. How was your day? I go, oh, man, and then you've just broken your rules. Don't do that. Try and go through the whole day without talking about yourself at all. Always throw it back at them. And I guarantee you something. If you practice this for a long period of time, for a week or two, watch how many people will come back to you. Watch how many people will actually want you to engage with them again, because you make them feel like a better person. And that's exactly what good salesmen do, is that they want somebody else to speak, because people need to be heard. People want to be heard. It's just the way of the nature that people are.
Right, right. And I just put it in the comments too, that the day that you start talking about your audience and it's about them is the day that your business really happens. So it's not going out there. And I talked to another client about this. She was telling me she was getting asked the question, what is my goal? And I said, you see what happened there? You have this authority figure or this top earner person asking you, what is your goal? Maybe he shared a little bit of his, but you have to turn around and start asking your audience, what is their goal? Start building that rapport on whatever social media you're on. If you're doing emails, start asking them questions, and they're real people. Did Joe say something funny?
No.
Or what? No, because Joe just came.
I was sleeping.
Yeah. Oh.
Because the workshop. Sorry, Joe. That workshop. Oh no, it was pretty long.
It was. Sorry about that, Joe. It was our first one of the year, so it was really exciting. So, yeah, cool. So if anybody wants to share their elevator pitch anytime with me or whatever, if you want to practice, I don't really care either way. Just let you know that I do give out tough love. You know, I'll probably be really nice though. I probably might.
You know what's interesting, and here's another thing that I just learned recently. There are a couple of channels I'm subscribed to about like charisma and being an authority, and one of the people that have demonstrated great authority in the past is the boxer Muhammad Ali. Everybody knows who Muhammad Ali is. Whenever he spoke with great authority. And some people think that they need to know everything about everything in order to be an authority. Well, in this particular interview, this guy was saying to Muhammad Ali, he said, what do you think propagated the incident of, and Muhammad Ali said, whoa, hold on a second, man. I never got past high school. Could you repeat that or say that in another word so I can understand what you're saying? Because I don't understand what you're talking about. And, people forget. They still listen to what Muhammad Ali has to say because he's a guy with confidence, a guy with good self-esteem. And, you don't need to know everything in order to be somebody who speaks with authority. You can be.
And a spin on that, you don't have to treat everybody like they don't know shit. Oh, can I say shit on camera? You don't treat to somebody and say, hey, by the way, this and this and this, because I'm assuming that you don't know. No, you know what? If anybody wants to know how to talk to people in a good way, I think that whole matching and mirroring thing. I think you have it on a hangout, Dave, about the matching and mirroring. That is something that I've known forever. I just naturally do that. I just naturally match and mirror. But when I'm talking just me, I talk really fast. Obviously, I hope everybody got what I was saying tonight. But if I'm talking in a conversation with somebody else, I'm going to match and mirror, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing is, and Katie takes great deal in educating herself. She really likes to educate herself. So she reads a lot and she listens a lot. And that's something that you need to do. I mean, you won't get to that stage if you're not reading, if you're not listening, if you're not watching, if you're not paying attention. And yes, I said educate. I just think it's an awesome word, and I'm just using it from now on because I love it. It also breaks state when you say stuff like that. People remember it a lot easier. So yeah, absolutely. But thank you, Katie, for all the value you've given us. And we are coming on the hour now. It's like 3 minutes too. So I think we'll go over to Mr. Jamie Shaw, and he can start saying his goodbyes and ending off with something he wants to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are afraid to, ask questions and stuff like that. And you have to. Your confidence from asking questions comes from investing in yourself. Like you were saying, investing in reading and investing in courses and stuff to help you become a better person and a better marketer. And the investment of taking the time to listen to audio, read daily, and get into courses and educate your mind helps you grow as a person and become the person that everybody's looking for, because everybody has some value to offer out in the community. And there's somebody out there looking for the value you have to offer, but you have to have the answers to give to them by educating yourself when they come to you.
Absolutely right. Now, if I could just say real quick, is that I want to edify the most influential person that I've had in my life that usually kicks my butt. If people, even Alan said in there, is that I'm pretty tough, but the one person that really kicks my butt is Pops. So Pops gets some props for kicking my butt. A lot of times I'm pretty argumentative, but 9 times out of 9 times he's right. So he's like my life mentor basically, and he kicks my butt. I want to give a shout out to Dave for showing me how to be successful, really, because I was ready to do something and he gave me a strategy that was working for him. And what was different from him being my mentor is that he gave me feedback, and he kept giving me feedback. So that's super important. So for those of you out there who don't have who have mentors, you can have mentors. We call them silent mentors, right? I learned that from Mike Hobbs. Is silent mentors are people who you can follow, like Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, but they don't give you feedback unless you want to pay thousands of money. Obviously, Zig Ziglar's dead, but I'm just saying that Tony Robbins, if you want some feedback from him, you're probably going to have to pay some money, right? Jamie, thank you for allowing me to kick your butt, right? Out of breakthroughs and chip away those rough edges. I think that's amazing. And Maria, I know she's going to watch the replay. Or no, she might be here actually. She's the one that asks the good questions. She asks a lot of questions, but she asks the right ones. So you can imagine the kind of conversations that she has with people that she has conversation with. It's awesome. So, oh, she just said, yeah, I kick her butt too. So, I mean, I could go on forever and thank a whole bunch of people, but really, I'm just the type of person that just loves to be with people and include people. So, Alan's the new butt I'm going to kick for sure. So, Alan, I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. So that'd be awesome. All right, I'm done.
You know, and I will say this, you know, and the one thing that I've learned for myself is that you cannot get anywhere without the support of other people helping you and pushing you and encouraging you. Because even in the times where you're feeling, if you are ever in a position where you think you know it all, you don't. If you're ever in a position where you think that you don't need to be taught, you need to be smacked across the face, all right? Because you need to understand that we are all growing, we are all learning, and there is so much more that we can learn. Even the big guys that aren't with us no more, you know, Jim Rohn, I mean, he was always listening and reading and educating himself to be a lot more influential on other people because he was reading. And I know for a fact that I would not be in the position I am in without all these lovely people around us who are watching this Hangouts and on this panel. All right, you know, I thank Katie, I thank Jamie, I thank Maria, Alan. I know I've only known you for a short time, you know, and I've got Jackie here. There's so many other people, and we've got Joe Whistler, Wanda Witt, and in fact, most people that are watching this right now were on that workshop we had. And it was a grueling time, you know, it was a grueling time, and it took a lot out of us, but we learned a tremendous amount of stuff. And we need to understand that if we want to learn, we need to surround ourselves with people who are like-minded. And everybody here, this is my family. This is where I get my energy. This is where I get, the reason I get up every morning is because I know that I can help somebody out there. All right, that is the whole point. All right, this is not about you. You've got to take the focus off yourself and say, you know what, let me help somebody else. And you only do that by what? Educating yourself. I just love that word. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to say goodbye here. Thank you so much, Jamie and Katie, for being on here. That was an amazing lesson. And we will see you guys. Don't forget next week, Monday, and next week, Tuesday, we've got Diane Hockman. I mean, Diane Hockman, she is the top earner inside of My Lead System Pro, and she is going to be talking about attraction marketing from the perspective of the person who is starting out in this industry. And I, for one, am going to be here, and I want everybody here to watch what she has to say, because I'm going to be taking notes. I'm going to be burning a hole through my paper, I'm sure. So everybody, make sure you're here next week. Don't forget Wisdom Wednesday with Pat Patterson. And Jamie Shaw has his on Thursday at, what time is it? 8 p.m. Eastern, Jamie?
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Wonder Wit is my special guest this week.
And Wonder Wit is his special guest. Awesome. And also on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm also speaking as a guest on Scott. What's the guy's surname now? Scott. I'm trying to, hold on a second, I'll tell you now. Scott Lindstrom. I'm a guest on Scott Lindstrom's Hangout, so we will give you some information on how to get to that link. And you guys have a great day. We will see you next week. Cheers.